Good evening and welcome to the January 22nd, 2026 meeting of the Yorktown Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is John Meisterich. I chair the board. With me tonight are Bill Gregory, Anthony Tripodi, Bob Fahey, our legal assistant Nisreen Corey at the desk, and David Chen, our attorney. Our first order of business for tonight is to approve the minutes from last month. So I'll make a motion to approve the January minutes that I sent to the team. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we don't have any thing on the agenda that's going to require a site visit, but if you're here for your accessory apartment, you have to do the mailings. We won't have a site visit. You have to send your mailings between February 2nd and February 11th. Send them certificate of mailing, post a sign on your property, and notify the neighbors. Under new business here tonight, again, we have Bisaccia. So that is a application at 2501 Dunning Drive to renew an accessory apartment that requires a special use permit per the town zoning code. So I will make a motion to refer this to the building department and handle it administratively. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we're on to our public hearing section of our agenda. The first public hearing is Yorktown Community School, 247 Veterans Road. Is anyone here on that? Come up to the podium. It's an application for a special use permit for a daycare facility that requires a special permit per section 300-53 of the town zoning code. Premises is in an R120 zone. Can you just state your name for the record and give a brief explanation of the application?
Hi, my name is Mary Beth Fay. I am the director of the Yorktown Community Nursery School. We are applying for this. We currently run as a preschool right now under the New York State Department of Education. And under that, we can only operate for our class for under 3 hours. We are looking to operate our class for a longer day till 2 p.m. And in order to do that, we need to be licensed as a daycare facility. We are not planning to do any construction or increase our enrollment. We just want to have a longer day.
Okay. So I'm going to see if there's any memos. We had referred this to the planning board, the building inspector. And I don't know, have you been with the planning board at all, or?
I went to the planning board meeting last week.
Did they have anything to say?
They had questions about the parking.
If you're not increasing your enrollment, then there should be no problem.
I wouldn't think so.
Okay, so
I hope not.
the memo from the planning board dated January 15th to us at the zoning board is, at its meeting on January 12th, 2026, the planning board discussed the subject referral. The planning board respectfully requests more time to review the referral. The memo from our building inspector, Steve Fraietta, on January 16th, 2026. It's an application of special permit for a daycare center. The fire inspector inspected the property on August 25th, 2025 and found no violations on the property. I visited the property on January 16th, 2025, have no objections of issuing a special permit for a daycare center. So our normal procedure is actually to refer this to the planning board to work out the issues such as parking, drop-off, and the like. So since they've requested more time, I don't think we're in a position to approve a special permit at this meeting.
Okay.
I would tend to disagree because there's really nothing changing on the property. It's a matter of basically what she's saying. And I don't think the planning board really needs to be involved in this. We could make this decision here and not have a problem with it. I mean, they're asking for something that maybe they don't understand.
I'm of an opinion that we probably need to adjourn it.
All right, if you wanna go down that road, I don't think we need them, but, all right, if you wanna do
One-
it. I won't stand
Well,
in the way of that.
even, I mean, even that's true, there is, you know, from the town of Yorktown's code, there are things that are required for a daycare center that aren't for a nursery school.
Yes.
And all of those things would have to be
Okay,
provided.
all right, from that in that
So
perspective, then
if
I
you work with the
understand.
planning board on that, you could provide everything that we would require as well. And if you come to terms with the planning board,
You've been to the planning board already. Did they have any concerns, or they said about the parking? Was there anything else that they were talking about that needed to be addressed, or was there something that was perplexing them that they couldn't make a decision?
They were mostly, the questions that they put to me were mostly concerning the parking, but they also had asked me for information that I brought with me that night but didn't send to them. So I have sent it to them, so I think that that's what they're looking for, is time to
Okay,
look that over.
all
right,
fair
so if
enough.
they do the heavy lifting in a way, I would call it, for the details of traffic flows and parking and, you know, everything that is in the code. We grant the approval. So it's really a matter of getting agreement from the planning board, then returning to us, which is usually then a very straightforward process of just granting the permit.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question with regard, what is your enrollment as a nursery school?
Our full capacity right now is 44 children. On any given day, though, our maximum is 32, because we run our 2-year-old class on an opposite day of the 3-year-old class, and the 4-year-old class is there 5 days a week.
Okay, now when you become a daycare center,
We are not changing our building, and we only have space we only have 2 classrooms in the building, so we can't
So-
increase our enrollment if we're doing a longer day.
so it's going to be no more than 44.
Right.
Okay.
Is the operation going to be completely now devoted to daycare as opposed to what you were doing before?
No. So we are a cooperative nursery school. We've actually been in Yorktown since 48. And so our parents do participate. So what we're looking to do really is run the same program that we have now in the morning, but be able to offer parents an extended day so that they can then go till 2 o'clock. So we're not doing till 5, till 6, or, we're still functioning as a school. But we just can't do that underneath our registration with the New York State Department of Ed, and we want to make sure we're doing it properly.
And one of the things that basically, and have you seen a copy of the regulation in the zoning ordinance?
Yes,
Okay, so there are certain pieces of paper that we'll need
yes, and I
part of
provided
the
those.
process. So we already have those?
Yes,
Okay.
I went through it all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I will make a motion to adjourn this to our February meeting. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll see
Thank you.
soon. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Charnis? Oh. This is an application to renew a special permit to allow storage of a commercial vehicle in a residential zoning district per the town zoning code. Can you just state your name for the record?
Yeah, Julian Charnas.
Okay. So, I know you have a vehicle parked there. I assume you still do.
Yes.
I'm going to read any memos that I might have here. So I have a memo from Steve Frayetta from our building department. This is an application for a renewal of special permit to store a commercial vehicle on a residential property per section 300-62 of the town zoning code. This property is in the R120. I've inspected this property on January 16th, 2026, and found no violations. I have no objections to granting the renewal of the special permit. So we didn't order a site visit. I see your plan here with your trees and your screening, and recognize that this has been in place for a very long, many years.
Yes.
So I'll ask if you have any comments, but probably not. If anyone in the audience has any comments on this application, Anyone on the board? So I will make a motion to approve the renewal of the special permit to store a commercial vehicle in a residential district at 2248 Edward Lane. Am I allowed to do this for longer than 3 years?
I think it's only 3.
For a period of 3 years.
Thanks. Thanks for trying.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Diaz, there we go.
Diaz. So this is an application to construct an addition of a garage on a corner lot that requires a side yard setback of 24.52 feet where 30 is required. The side yard in this case on a corner meets the front yard, has to meet the front yard setback. So it's 25.52 where 30 is required per section 300-13 and 300-21 of the town zoning code at 3408 Fenimore Avenue. So can you just state your name for the record and
Hi, this is Maria Minchala Diaz.
hi.
My name is Jason Diaz.
And
I'm Paul Dennis, the architect for the Diaz's.
okay. So while we're gathering the files, you want to just explain briefly the addition that you're putting together here?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, the existing house, it's an older house. It was built in 1935. And, of course, the zoning has changed substantially since then. It was on a triple lot, and the house was located on the highest part of the lot. And the lot is kind of moderately steep in some spots and a little more level in the back. But there's a lot of rock outcrops, so it's a difficult site to build on, particularly a garage. And because
Do some blasting.
yes, well, I don't want to do any blasting. We'd ruin the house. Yeah, but I designed the garage in a location that we could get a driveway to it at a 14% slope, which is about the maximum that is practical. And that ended up to be next to the house, so it was as far back as we could go. And so that's where it is actually located. And we have a long driveway that goes to get up that far. And so that's the reason for the garage being in that location, because there's really no other practical location on that lot.
You couldn't excavate coming in from Fenimore to go straight back to the house? Was there stone or something that would impede
There's rock
that?
there.
Yeah.
It's, oh, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I didn't.
there's a big rock outcrop, and I'd end up chopping out 6 feet of bedrock right up next to
I
the
didn't know how
existing
much you were
house.
Right, no, it makes,
You know.
it makes sense, I mean,
Yeah,
feasibility-wise.
I mean, it just it's financially just not feasible to put it anywhere else. So I mean that's the issue, and of course, it's really good to have a garage. So you can understand that they really would like a garage, and that's the spot where it fits.
Okay, so let me just ask if there's anyone in comments on this application. Okay, so our board here did a drive-by type site visit this past weekend, and I do agree with the topography situation with the rock outcroppings and whatnot, that,
Yeah,
if you look at the size of the lot, if you ignore all that, you might say, well, you could fit this garage somewhere else because the lot is big enough, but I don't think it's a practical matter to build on it.
Did you you determine that was what you were running into with the rock? How did you do that? Did you drill into this? You tried to do an excavation and you found that there was any bedrock, or
there's
is this an assumption?
well, the rock where the driveway is now is relatively weathered, so it's not going to be difficult to excavate the small amount of rock for the new driveway.
Okay.
But the other location that we looked at, which was on the right side of the house, there's a large rock outcrop there. It's not weathered. It's really it's a massive piece of rock, and
Okay.
we can't blast.
I was curious how you, from a learning perspective as to
Yeah.
how you make that determination. I mean, if you're doing an excavation, do you dig down? I mean, there could be a loose piece of fieldstone, just very big, sitting on that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we don't know. I mean,
yeah. Well, you can see the rock outcrop, so you know
So
it's
we gotta
there.
assume there's something under.
Yeah, and there's usually rock underneath it.
Makes sense.
Now, the
Okay.
driveway's going to come in from Kimball Avenue?
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
So let me just read a memo from our building department here, as I
Okay.
typically do. So I have a memo from Steve Frayetta, dated January 16th, 2026. This is an application for a building permit to construct an addition of a garage located on a corner lot that will require a side yard equal to a front yard requirement, variance of 24.52, where 30 feet is required by section 300 of the town zoning code. I've inspected this property on January 16th, 2026, and have no objections to granting the variance. So again, given all that, the outcroppings, the rocks, the topography, the size of the lot, I don't see an issue with the character of the neighborhood. I don't see any alternatives for this project. So I will make a motion to grant the application to construct an addition of a garage on the corner lot that requires a side yard setback equivalent to a front yard setback of 24.52 feet, where 30 feet is required, with the stipulation that this applies only to the requested variance, not the remainder of the property line, and that the project be built in conformity, substantial conformity to the plans that have been submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Happy excavating.
Yes. Thank you.
380 Downing Drive LLC.
Good evening, Joseph Rena, Principal Site Design
Hi,
Consultant.
hi, Mr. Arena.
Hi, nice to see everybody.
You
John,
too. It's been a while.
already said hello to everyone else.
We're in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
This is an application for a building permit to construct a loading dock with a rear setback of 13.2,
Want to take over?
Yeah, I want to take over if I can. Thank you.
where
I'm
40
sorry.
is required per section 300-21 of the town zoning code. So again, this is Mr. Joe Rena, as he stated, to explain to us the application briefly.
Okay.
Okay.
That always happens.
Well, I'm awake
We're
now.
here.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody's
I'm
awake.
awake now. I was dozing off.
Whoa. Happens all the time.
My heart. my
I always
heart
forget
stopped.
about that. Okay, so this evening, we're representing 380 Downing Drive LLC, and they're before the planning board for an amended site plan approval. So the shopping center, once referred to as the Turco Shopping Center. The shopping center last received site plan approval in 1995 when the Seatown became Turco's. I think it was Seatown back then, wasn't it, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that space is now vacant, and the property owner has 3 tenants that would like to occupy that space, so he's going to divide it into 3 different units. The front curved portion, let's see if I can zoom in here. So this front curved portion of roof is going to come down, and the center is going to the 3 store units are going to receive a new storefront, which
It'll be similar to the original design. They're gonna take this This was added as to change the feature.
That's
This
correct.
originally was an A and P, I think, when it was first put up, and A and P had a particular design when they laid out their buildings for tax purposes or whatever, how they had that projection. So I believe that's why they changed that going forward.
So, as I said, we're coming in for an amended site plan. A couple other changes that are being made to the site. The entrance that is currently over closest to Downing on the Veterans Road side is going to be closed off. This area is going to be reconfigured, and we're putting a new entrance here, which will be in line with this main drive. So this curved portion is going to come off here. And the reason we're here tonight is the loading dock, in order to accommodate the three proposed units, which you could see laid out here. By the way, one unit is going to be a restaurant, one is going to be a bath and plumbing supply, and the other one is
Auto parts.
an auto parts. So, in order to be able for each unit to have a loading, substantial loading area or a necessary loading area, we're putting this addition on, which I have outlined in red here. So in order to get this addition in here, it's required to have a 30-foot setback at that point, and we're only at 13.2 feet, so we need about a 17-foot variance to get by there.
We did the inspection on Saturday, and we came into if we're to the left of the projections that we have here now, where the gray area is in front of that red outline.
Right.
That's the existing loading dock?
That's the existing loading dock.
Okay, so we're gonna come around the back of that.
Correct.
And I believe there's a concrete blocked wall that was filled into the brick, and then there's another section, looked like it was for a dumpster or something at one point, but it's empty there. So that's the area that you're talking about?
Right.
Going forward, how are you going to access the loading dock? Are you gonna continue the way it is now, or are you gonna come in from the right, or you're gonna come in from the left? How do you get to the loading docks?
On this side here, on the same side that it is now.
The way it is now, like normally you would come in on the left-hand side where the main loading dock is, and you'd come down into that
Right.
corridor?
So this ramp here is it's gonna be shared by the two different units. So one unit will enter from here, and the second unit will come in from here.
So and you have enough room to bring a tractor trailer in to satisfy?
Yes, we've
Those-
already done a vehicle movement plan, and the planning board has seen
Because
that.
it was very tight. When we drove through, we drove the whole side of that property and came out at the other end. And right where the right-hand corner is of that red projection is a very tight spot. So I wasn't sure how
Yep.
you were gonna rectify that.
And just so you know, we're pushing that whole curb line and fence right up to the property line, so that widens out that area
So
there.
you get a little bit more,
Right.
room. Okay,
Right.
makes sense.
Joe, what's behind that? I mean,
So behind that is this is the Greek restaurant, which says Friendly's here, but it's not
Okay.
one. Friendly's the Greek restaurant. And the,
oh, Greeks are friendly.
right,
It's a friendly
and,
Greek
and,
restaurant.
and this is the bank here.
Right,
I
that's
mean,
what I thought. Okay.
And this would be the gas station over in this area here.
The gray crosshatched current loading dock, is that going away, or?
No, so this existing loading dock right here, that's staying. Right, so we're just building around it.
Around it.
You're saying pretty much you're gonna square it up. That's what you're trying.
Well, we're not squaring it up because we had to put a little chamfer on it, a little angle on it to make it so it wasn't so tight.
All right.
Yeah, so it wasn't so tight.
So one kind of, the red backwards L shape, that allows you to load into the first unit, and then the original is
Right.
in the middle.
So the I wish I had brought the vehicle turning movement plan, but the trucks come in here, right? Pull up and back in to go to the middle space, and same will back to here to go to the larger space here, which is the bath.
So that the furthest store away from that gray area is sharing that gray area loading dock?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a side-by-side loading area.
Now, the existing loading dock, it's ground level?
No, it's ramped.
It's
down.
ramped.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's how you're gonna be able to get the trucks back.
right.
Okay, I have a few memos here that I'd like to read.
Mhm.
So the first memo is from the planning board. It's dated January 16th, 2026. At its meeting of January 12th, 2026, the planning board discussed the subject referral. The 380 Downing Drive site plan has been under review by the planning board since October, and in that time, the subject of the setback variance has been discussed. The board previously requested that the applicant increase the setback from 13.2 feet so as to create a safer passing lane for the proposed loading dock. The applicant redesigned the proposed loading dock and increased the setback to 17.5 feet. The planning board's request has been satisfied, therefore it has no planning objections to the setback variance.
Out of curiosity, what was their reasoning behind the increase? Is that for fire apparatus or just for normal trucks or what?
Yeah, it was just because, for the same reason that you mentioned about it being a little tight back there.
Okay.
So they gave us a little extra room, pulled that corner in, it gave us a little extra room, we pushed the curb back, and it gave us a better passing area.
Okay.
So, just tell me, Joe, the application then pursuant to the planning board's memo.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because I just, listening to John read that, so let's just zoom in here. So that's correct, so it's actually, we need a 13-foot variance, not a 17-foot.
So in other words, it's going to be 17.5 feet where 30 is
Where
required?
30 is required.
30 is required. So that's what we're going to be discussing, or at least
17.5 feet where 40 is required or 30 is required?
30 is required in that zone. And there was a discussion with the building inspector, whether this is actually considered a rear yard or a side yard. And
Okay.
we kind of ended up
I
like,
don't think we have enough time tonight
yeah.
to go.
So we went with the let's play it safe and just get the variance.
All right, so just to be clear then, the application is to construct a loading dock with a rear yard setback of 17.5 feet where 30 feet is required.
Correct,
That's basically what the application is now adjusted to.
Yeah.
correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, so I do have a memo from our building inspector, but basically Steve Frayetta, January 16th, this is an application for a building permit to construct a loading dock with a rear yard setback of 13.2, where 30 is required, per section 300-21 of the town zoning code. I've inspected the property and have no objections to granting the variance. So he didn't have the latest information there, but I have one more memo that's not to us, it's to the building department. I don't think I need to read this one. It's just basically
Praising us?
from the planning board to the building department, so I'm not
Praising
gonna,
how good the zoning board is?
there's nothing
That
important
would-
in there.
I'd be shy about that.
Okay, so does anyone from the audience have any comments on this application? Got one person there. Okay. So I will make a motion, I agree with everything that's been stated, so I will make a motion to grant the application at 380 Downing Drive for a variance to construct a loading dock with a rear setback of 17.5 feet where 30 feet is required, with the stipulation that this applies to the requested variance only and not the remainder of the property line, and that the project be built in substantial conformity to the plan submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, good to see you all.
Okay.
I tell you, we should get photographs with Joe standing up here. It's a famous moment, you know?
So that concludes our public hearings for tonight. At our last meeting, we had an application, and we did what's called closed and reserved the application, which means the hearing was closed, no more public comments, and we had a certain period of time to render a decision. So I took the liberty, for the benefit of the board, to draft a decision, and what I'd like to do is read that decision, and we'll vote. I'll call for a vote to see if the board would like to adopt this decision or not.
Second.
No motions yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to read the substantive rationales and decision. Based on a denial issued by the Yorktown Building Department, the applicant has applied for a use variance in order to develop a Tier 2 battery storage facility at 3666 Old Yorktown Road, Shrub Oak, New York. The applicant contends that the project requires that the ZBA apply the public utility use variance standard, which is less burdensome and restrictive than a standard use variance standard. The 4.5 acre property is currently located across two zoning districts, C2 and R120 respectively. The property contains an existing single-family residence along with various accessory structures, including a swimming pool. The proposed battery storage facility would be sited within both the R120 and the C2 zoning districts alongside the residence. Within any zoning district, the town code permits various as-of-right main uses, such as a single-family residence in either the C2 or R120 zone, and various permitted main uses, meaning a main use for which a special permit is required, such as a house of worship. Additionally, the zoning code permits numerous accessory uses and structured both as of right and permitted. When a property owner exercises their property rights by developing a structure, such as a single-family residence, this action establishes the main use and then in turn constrains and defines further development of the property. Section 300-11B of the zoning code states that every building hereinafter erected shall be located on a lot as defined herein, and except as herein provided, there shall not be more than one main building and its accessory buildings on one lot, except for non-residential buildings and multifamily dwellings in districts where such uses are permitted. Additionally, a property owner cannot develop an accessory use without a main use having already been defined, because under Section 300-3B, an accessory building is a subordinate building, whether or not attached to the main building via a breezeway or connecting corridor, the use of which is customarily incidental to that of the main building on the same lot. Therefore, while many accessory uses or main uses may be allowable in a zone, once a structure is built or a main use is established, any new development sought must be considered in conjunction with the existing main use. The ZBA finds that the battery storage facility does not meet the definition of an accessory building. The board determines that the size and intensity relative to the single-family residence does not meet the definition of subordinate, nor is the use in any way customarily incidental to that of a main building on the same lot. Likewise, the single-family home is not an accessory building in relation to the battery storage facility. The ZBA therefore affirms that the use variance is required for this proposed development. The board additionally finds that attaching a utility to another use does not entitle the applicant to apply under the reduced burden for public utilities because it ignores the additional uses in place for which the unnecessary hardship standard continues to apply. The reduced burden applies to public utility uses, but does not apply to any other uses. Even if the ZBA determined that the project is considered a public utility, this use would become a public utility combined with a single-family residence, a pool, a garage, and sheds. The law does not grant the reduced standard for use variances merely because a public utility is an attached or an included use. It applies when the public utility is the use. And further, we find that the sequence of establishing uses does not matter for the purposes of zoning. The ZBA finds that expanding the definition of a public utility to include any development where a public utility is attached would lead to many undesirable consequences, such as granting the right for public utilities to attempt to develop multi-use projects under the reduced burden for public utilities. The board is not issuing any determination with respect to whether a battery storage facility as a singular use is or is not a public utility. The applicant has also failed then to demonstrate that a use variance is warranted under the more burdensome standard. Generally, a party seeking a variance must show unnecessary hardship under New York town law. For an applicant to make that showing, the statute instructs that the applicant must demonstrate, one, that the applicant cannot realize a reasonable return as demonstrated by competent financial evidence, two, that the alleged hardship relating to the property in question is unique and does not apply to a substantial portion of the district or neighborhood, and three, that the requested variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood, and four, the alleged hardship has not been self-created. The applicant failed to demonstrate that it could not realize a reasonable return on the property. Indeed, it is currently being used, and that the proposed system would not alter the essential character of the neighborhood, and that the alleged hardship was not self-created. So, based on the above, this application is denied. So, I'd like to make a motion to adopt this decision this draft decision as a final decision. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So I will make a note on this that. Okay, so I'm gonna make a note that on my copy that this was unanimously approved and adopted as the decision. Do you have a pen that's not purple?
Sure. I'll even give it to you in the legal black.
Thank you.
There you go, sir. And at one time, documents had to be signed in black ink. Were not allowed to be signed in blue ink. I'm sure that has been relaxed at some point, but I still always carry a black pen. Since I like you, I'll give you an A+ on the report. Very well done, well written, well spoken. Your presentation was good.
Was Bob rambling excessively?
Sorry, that's all right. It's-
Remember that one? There's a medal for you. We're home. Show it to me. So have you got all your necessities laid in for the snow?
No.
I'm thinking pretzels
Yeah,
and
Bob,
yes. I'm sorry.
sorry everyone, I had to write those notes. So I will close the meeting for tonight, and we will see everyone in February. Good night and happy zoning.